boys and girls. Tonight or today, we're going to talk about chemical properties, and your vocabulary words are chemical property, reactivity, acid, base, and neutralization. Chemical property is the way a substance reacts with other substances. For example, when you put baking soda in vinegar, the baking soda reacts strongly with vinegar, reducing carbon dioxide gas. Reactivity is how easily something reacts with something else. An example of this, boys and girls, is potassium and water. When you put those together, they react very strongly, very violently. They also give out sparks, okay? Copper and water, this is one that has no reaction to it, so it's no reactivity. Flammability, boys and girls, this is a chemical property of a substance that describes its ability to catch on fire or burn. And we know there are many things that's flammable in our house. It has the ability to catch on fire. After burning, the substance no longer exists. It has changed into ash and gases. Example, hydrogen and methane is highly flammable, so they're easy to burn. And so if we're around these particular gases, we have to be very careful because they're both flammable. Rocks and sand, these are not flammable. They won't hurt you if you mix them together. They have no reactivity. One way to describe a matter is to classify it as an acid or a base. The pH scale measures the strength of acid and bases, and it runs from 0 on one side to 7 in the middle, all the way to 14, and we call it our pH scale. Acid, what is acid? It's a substance that has a pH below 7. Some of the examples of it is that it tastes sour, it makes blue lemons paper turn pink or red. An example of this is lemon juice and vinegar. Acid also releases hydrogen ions in solution. The higher the hydrogen ion concentration, the stronger the acid. Base is our other one that's found on our pH scale. It said base is a substance that has a pH above 7. Some of the examples of this is that it tastes bitter, and it makes our red litmus paper turn blue. And also baking soda, soap, antacids, they are all examples of bases. And one thing that we can remember is anything that we use for dishwashing or to clean our house is going to be a base, all right? Bases release hydroxide ions in solutions. Just one more. Thank you. Both strong acids and bases can burn the skin depending on their strength. Neutralization is the chemical change of an acid and a base into water and a salt. Every substance has its own unique set of physical and chemical properties. Remember, boys and girls, we talked about physical properties and we talked about chemical properties. All matter can be described using both types of property. Let's look at these properties. Physical properties, reddish brown, shiny. That would be a physical property of copper. We look on the other side, we talk about chemical property. It reacts with substance in the air. And remember on this week we talk about reaction, how one substance can react with another substance and they can produce something different. A physical property of copper is that it's easily shaped into sheets. It's a good conductor of heat and electricity, boys and girls. The density, remember we talked about density also. Anything that we said that was 1 or above is going to be have a high density, which means if we put it in water, boys and girls, it's going to go straight to the bottom. If it's less than 0, boys and girls, remember, it's going to float. So the density of copper is 8.92 grams per cubic centimeters. So we know that copper into water is going to go straight to the bottom. The melting point of it, we also talked about the melting point and the boiling point. We know these, boys and girls, are all physical properties. When we go over here, we're still talking about copper, but we're talking about chemical properties of it. It reacts with nitric acid and sulfuric acid. It forms a deep blue solution when in contact with ammonia. And boys and girls, we know that we be very careful when we handle ammonia. In fact, we're not to handle ammonia. Go back one for me, please. All right, this example right here, boys and girls, we talked about this example of the Statue of Liberty. We talked about that Tuesday in class. Remember, the Statue of Liberty is made of copper, and because of copper reactivity to substance in the air, the Statue of Liberty is now green and not shiny like a penny. But remember, boys and girls, when the Statue of Liberty was brought over here from the other country as a gift, they brought them in different boxes. All right, we couldn't bring them all together, and when they brought them over, they looked like a brand new shiny penny. But now we know it's the color green. All right, boys and girls, and that is all that you have to do. Make sure, boys and girls, that you look over your notes tomorrow in class. We will have a discussion. And remember, I'll give you a post-test tomorrow. So make sure you go over and over each word that you need to go over.